Welcome to the 2011 Betfair New South Wales Greyhound of the Year Awards.
Before we get stuck into more awards, let's take a look back at some of the highlights in greyhound racing during the year of 2011.
'11 was a year that had it all, from track records
Noble Pedro by nearly 10 lengths
to flying finishes,
higher in front, look at He Knows go, they hit the line, nothing in it,
and performances that will be remembered for years to come.
Travers from Prince Diabolo, He Knows You Know is 3 wide, about to surge after them, and railing through is Cold Fusion. Cold Fusion went to the lead. In second place, He Knows You Know check. Cold Fusion dashed away. He Knows You Know can't pick it up. Cold Fusion wins.
Seek and Destroy tasted the first Group 1 success when he honed in on his opposition to take out the Hotham Body Repairs Association Cup in January.
Seek and Destroy's pulling plenty out. It's got the favourite Seek and Destroy one. Seek and Destroy takes out the cup. It's beaten by Dashing Corsair a length and Hannafly's Bell third from Billy Bobag.
Attention then turned to Newcastle with the National Futurity and National Derby in what was a taste of things to come for Paul Wheeler in 2011. His classy bitch, Kristen Bale, took out the Futurity over Up and Away.
Kristen Bale on the outside. Kristen Bale beat Up and Away to Nellie Bale and then Bogey Beltars.
Meanwhile in the Derby, it was Bogey King's time to shine.
There is no Aaron Knocker. It's 6 in front. Bogey King second, closing in. Next is Prince Diabolo into the clear, but too late, followed by Alan Milroy in the straight. No Aaron Knocker in front. Flashing Hound on the outside as Bogey King. They've hit it. Leave me out.
And what's it like to join the list of Derby winners now? A very prestigious race.
Mate, unbelievable. I remember as a boy I was up at Ipswich and I watched Cattle Drive win a Derby. That's one of the early races I can remember. When we drew into the fence, I guess I drew a liking to that dog and my dog tonight, so I give him a big hope. But mate, to get the money is just unbelievable, you know.
As Easter rolled by, so did the richest greyhound race in the world, the Macro Meets Golden Easter Egg. And it was that man, Paul Wheeler again, with his star chaser Radley Bale, trained by Graham Bate, demolishing his opposition in the final to take out the $250,000 prize.
Is the leader. He Knows You Know is rattling home, but Radley Bale all the way. He Knows You Know a gallon second, but Radley Bale romps in. Radley Bale by 10. He Knows You Know second.
The Wheeler show continued in June when he and his wife Jan took out the Rapid Vite Peter Mossman Classic with Alan Harper.
They're at him away, but it's all Alan Harper in the Peter Mossman final, and Alan Harper races away to win by 5 or 6, second main drag.
Anthony Azzopardi registered one of his biggest wins in the sport when he took out the Paws of Thunder with Fancy Will.
Dacking on from Things Missing. 3 of Noble Pedro, Alan Harper, Fancy Dean, Dusty Arizona on the corner. Fancy Will in front, looking for the split Oaks Road. Fancy Will's kicking. Fancy Will in front of Oaks Road, and Fancy Will's got the money from Oaks Road and... Vic Peters Memorial Classic Final. Racing Mr. Clydesdale began quickly, so did Spring Gun and Mapunganiki. Zipping Cat was up on the outside. Cold Fusion back on the outside of Cold Fusion, and apparently so around the corner. Spring Gun is the leader. Zipping Cat from Mapunganiki fighting out the minors, but it's Spring Gun all the way. Spring Gun and the Vic Peters won by 5.
You know, we saw Black Caviar at the horses, but this dog 6 out of 6. He's something special.
He's Red Caviar. He's great dog. Great. I'm just over the moon. Just over the moon.
There's some terrific highlights from 2011, and a man who knows more than most about greyhound racing is Ronnie Arnold, and I know he was here a short time ago, so I don't know where he is now. Ronnie, anywhere? He snuck off to the dogs.
Ronnie, aren't you meant to be at the Betfair Greyhound of the Year?
Gotta go! Gotta run! Get the taxi!
Yes, that sketch would have worked so much better
Here I
had
come, Russ. Don't worry,
not
mate.
been raining tonight. Sorry to give you up, Ronnie.
Mate.
The sun's shining at Wenny Park and you were sitting there 3 minutes ago, so I really can't tell a bullshit story to
I feel like Jamie Soward last night when he kicked the winning field goal.
Exactly. Ronnie was there, in case you don't know, he is a Dragons fan.
Does anyone know who's leading the NRL competition right as we speak?
The Dragons, exactly. That means that Wayne Bennett's running last. What did you think of those highlights? What was your highlight in 2011? I obviously had something on Radley Bale, and the good news is that I've spoken to the Wheelers. There's a dog around the corner called Barwick Bale. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, that's there's always the odd one that doesn't work.
It'll be a fat, ugly dog that's really slow.
Yeah, well, we've had a few through a few.
I know,
We've had Carlson Bale.
Dave Carlson got one named after him.
It was Davis Bale a little while ago, so we've had all them. Look, as far as 2011, I suppose on one eye when it comes down to $250,000 and a golden Easter egg at Wenny Park for the first time. I think that was a highlight for the sport. It put it onto a new level. When you compare the other codes, they've all had their sort of $1 million glories, and at $250,000, I'm sure anyone that's been in the sport as probably as long as I have, from being born in it 50 odd years ago. That was something our parents never thought would ever be possible, the 250.
And I know you're going to speak to him shortly, but there was an article I read, and I brought the article up for Paul about him being such a predominant owner, and I think I worked out that only one other owner in Australian sport this year, in terms of racing, chasing and pacing, had more success than Paul, and his name is Sheikh Mohammed. So you're in fairly elite company, Paul, and I'm not sure whether I can call you the Sheikh or whatever, but I reckon you're in decent company. So I think a big round of applause for Paul and what he does for Greyhound racing, and his family, of course, and the training and the staff. It was an amazing effort.
Oh, look, it certainly is, and it's not something that just happened for him in 5 minutes, and it's all the success, and there's a lot of thought goes into it, and it's like all the trainers, the other two greyhounds that have got nominees here this evening that have been well involved in the sport in their own little way, the Gatt families and the Pattersons. They're relatively newcomers, even though they've sort of had a few dogs from time to time. Obviously on the Zipping Lad side, the Hallinans and the Makays have had plenty of success. Yeah. It's a stellar year as far as the standout sort of greyhounds. There's no one standout. You've had a lot of greyhounds that have stepped up at different group levels, and they've also now probably learnt to travel around Australia. A lot more trainers travel today to take on the big races. Again, Oaks Road goes around on the Australian Cup in 24 hours time at the Meadows. It's not something that used to be a complete regular. A lot of the big trainers did not travel years ago, but today, because of the dollar, they have to.
And so they should. I mean, it's a lucrative sport. Speaking of, Jason and his team, Zipping Lad is our first nominee for the New South Wales Greyhound of the Year.
'11 Summer Cup, Zipping Lad the fave from the inside, set and ready. Racing, Zipping Lad poorly away. Keto Edom won the break. She ran to the lead on settling down from Heavy Miss. Zipping Lad picking up ground on the inside, then Thrilling Quest, followed by Zipping Malfoy. He's My Future. Grandeurs found the inside, about 8 off the leader, Keto Eden, and the Kiwi Thrilling Brat can see them all. 15 off the front runner, Keto Eden. Keto Eden led by 2 to Zipping Lad. 3 away to Thrilling Quest in third, then Grandeur starting to run on. They'll followed by Zipping Malfoy, Heavy Miss, Thrilling Brat a long way from them. Keto Eden still by 2 to Zipping Lad on the corner. Then Thrilling Quest, Keto Eden in the lead. Zipping Lad coming. Keto Eden clinging on. Zipping Lad grabbed it and nailed it. Zipping Lad landed the money. Great goes second. Keto Eden or Grandeur.
Zipping Lad's thrilling win in the Group 3 Summer Cup at Wentworth Park in December was the perfect reward for a greyhound who had an unprecedented rise up the staying ranks in 2011. Only having his first career start in April, Zipping Lad quickly earned the nickname Super Stayer after he won 6 races in a row over 600 metres. In August, Zipping Lad was crowned the best stayer in New South Wales when he won the State Distance Championship. It was this win that made his trainer Jason Mackay realise that he had something special in his kennel.
Coming out last, and I think everyone had their heart in their mouth for a while because you don't know what they're going to do when they're young and back in a field, but he stormed over the top of them again that night, so yeah, there's been a couple of good ones.
Zipping Lad swishing around the outside, dropping back Divine Nation Altario, and so they back with it was Slick Lee. Down the running the first time, it's Beer Assassin on top. It's 2 in front of a Zipping Lad. Third was Misdemeanor. 5 lengths away, Salvatore. Next is Slick Lee. They were followed by Smiley Cloud, Altario, Divine Nation. Down the back, Beer Assassin's giving the favourite something to catch. Beer Assassin 2 in front. Zipping Lad checked off its heels. Misdemeanor's coming at them. Around the corner, here's a charge. Beer Assassin in front, Zipping Lad to the outside. Beer Assassin, Zipping Lad, up goes the favourite. Zipping Lad, too good.
Later in the year, Zipping Lad was simply unstoppable, breaking the 618-metre track record at Richmond.
Dozen or more back to Barney's lead, but Zipping Lad clear, and Zipping Lad too good over a very game down at Travers.
And the 715-metre track record at the Gardens.
Malfoy, but it's all Zipping Lad. A strong performance, beat the fast finishing Slick Lee. He's broke the record for sure.
If there was a group staying race anywhere in the country, it would be a sure bet that Zipping Lad would be lining up in the race.
The good ones just improve every run. They never need an excuse. They just fine, whether the track was bad, slow, windy. The good ones never need an excuse. They keep finding, and he'd done that from day dot.
With me here at the bar is Jason Mackay, and cheers, Jace. Congratulations on a stellar year with another great greyhound, Zipping Lad. Obviously, this whole litter, when you look at it, just stepping aside from Zipping Lad at the moment, is something that is unique.
Yeah, you don't like having yourself on, Ron, but you every now and again you'll get a freak litter. But basically, I think Marty breaks the rules a bit. You know, something happens out there at Orange a fair bit, and not many people know about it, but this litter is something special. But, you know, just in time sort of thing, you might get 1 or 2 that stand out in the litter, but I think the whole litter could all run. I think they could all break 30 or run 30 at 20 out of 19 or 20 months old. You go a long way to get that.
And when you look at it, like, you know, 29.7 was his best time over the 500, then he can still maintain that to get another 200 metres. Is that something that's in the greyhounds themselves, or have you had to sort of train him to get the 720?
No, Ron, the true fact there is it's in the animal, mate. They've either got it or they haven't got it, as simple as that. Basically, Marty's rearing and Marty's dam line says second to none, mate, as simple as that. It's well documented what animals come out of there, and people fight for places to get dogs reared out there, and I think 90% of your battle this day, if you pay big money for a dog and don't get it reared properly, well, you won't get a packet of chips, you know. So Marty ticks all the boxes, mate. He's second to none what he does. His products are outstanding, and this litter's no exception. He's got other litters right now as we speak, and I'm lucky enough that I've got one of them. It's probably the hottest litter around, as simple as that.
And of course, when you look at it, Zipping Lad, basically only 2.5 years of age, so, you know, barring injury, he's got still most of this year ahead of him.
Yeah, Ron, I think he's just the last part of 2011. I think he's sort of put his hand right up to be a top contender tonight. He done it all, mate. He sort of went to Newcastle and won the Newcastle Cup and broke the record, and he was won the Summer Cup, won the heat of the Summer Cup, come from behind, Lloyd, checked all of that. Went to Sale and won the heat of the Sale Cup, run the quickest, and was a tragedy beaten in the final, made a wrong mistake and just got beaten. Come home, they made a new race up at Gosford, the JB Cracker. That was the last day in voting days, and he was too good for them too. So basically, the last part of 2011, he sort of put himself in a real good position, which is good.
And just speaking earlier about dogs now travelling around the countryside, obviously your greyhounds do follow the group racing around. Have you noticed over the years that perhaps the dogs themselves seem to have just acclimatised to the travel a lot more than perhaps they used to?
Ron, the true fact is it suits the individual. Some of them thrive on it and some of them not real good at it. So in saying that, Zipping Lad's had his teething problems travelling. Sort of we went to Brisbane and tried to do a 2 or 3 day preparation up and stay in a new environment, new water, new tucker, all that, and it never worked real good. And we come home and changed a few things and went to Melbourne, and work for a while, and then he didn't like it. He wanted to be at home, and then just recently, this year, Marty took him to Perth, and he might as well got hit with a hammer. Lobbed in Perth, 43 degrees humidity. The heat was out of this planet. He got a bad batch of meat, which made him get toxins in his blood. All the wheels fell off, but somehow along the road in the heat of that galaxy, somehow he won. Like when you look back now on a little bit and play a big guide with blood profiles, which that's your fuel, that's everything for mine. He had no fuel. Basically, his hemoglobin, his packed cells and his red cells were basically on their last days, and he shouldn't have run 400 metres, let alone win and run respectable sections. But you look back on it all, Ron, and we might have went one run too many, but that's part of the deal. If you've got the right animal, you've got to, whatever state it's in, and if your dog's nice and healthy and happy, you've got to have a go at getting the money.
Okay, just very quickly, Jason Mackay himself, how did he get into the world of greyhound racing, and what made the between a bit of a punt and a bit of a gamble all start up?
I think it starts with me mother there. She's over there for the first time at one of those Greyhound awards. They must have had a couple of beers one night, and the old man threw the leg over, and something happened. That's it. That's how you get invited into this industry. But
it'll only get better before the night goes on, folks. Don't worry about that.
It's only early. But no, on a serious note, my blood's greyhounds through the father and the mother, and I think it was 40 years ago today. They tell the story a lot better than me, but this goes back a long time. There's a dog called Lust Tracker they had in a kennel, which is a black dog. He had a bit of a knockabout attitude where nobody could get near him. You couldn't feed him, you couldn't change his water, you couldn't fix his bed if he mucked it up, blah, blah, blah. Well, I go missing one day, and I'm 2-year-old. They can't find me. Well, next minute I'm in the kennel with this dog Lust Tracker rolled up, cuddled with him asleep. They went, oh, well, he must know something about it. I didn't have a clue, Ron, but I meant to get in the kennel, but I got in the wrong one, but it ended up all good.
Well, I suppose you would have had plenty of dog food at 3 o'clock in the morning too, occasionally when you're hungry, mate.
Yeah, them biscuits are all right when you're struggling.
Mate, obviously with Zipping Lad, you've had a stellar year. Is there one particular race that stands out in his 365 days of this year?
Yeah, Ronnie, his first start at Wentworth Park, basically, tell a lie, it was his third start, and he started racing in April, so from April to December, which is 8 months, it ain't real long sort of thing, but he's running that maiden that his brother won that day. Zipping Man was simply outstanding for having 2 or 3 starts. He come from nowhere. I think they run 30 dead up front. He probably took 3 or 4 lengths off him in run home times, but basically when he stepped up the more over the distance, his first crack at proper company was a Grafton Cup Open Company. He come out at Grafton, and John Corrigan's here tonight. He tells the story a lot better than me, but he come out that night, he was a pronounced favourite, and he broke a record of a bitch that held it for 7 or 8 years, and she was a star of Queensland. So he put himself in the right position at the right time and went to Richmond and broke the record, done the same thing at Newcastle, and a couple of his wins at Wentworth Park are simply outstanding. But probably the Summer Cup, when he bungled the start and got checked and run Key to Eden down, was probably the run of the year for him.
And obviously, mate, you've got great staff around you because you're often at 2 tracks on the one night, or the Greyhounds are at 2 tracks on the one night, and you need that staff.
Yeah, Ron, it's sort of this days, we've always got numbers at home and look more quality, not quantity sort of thing. And, you can have a few handy ones that sort of run time and do a few things right. Well, sometimes they've got to bite the dust and make room for the next one. But outside of that, with the handler, Milo, it's well documented. Milo handles most of my dogs, and he's a great bloke, Milo, and the dogs run for him, mate. You've got to have a bloke that loves the dogs, and the dogs love him. So basically outside of the handling, and there's Blakey there, does a lot of the driving. He's our ever-ready man. Blakey's just sort of, he's one man you want in every camp, He's outstanding that way. And Ron, I'm lucky enough to have a morning man at home and an arvo man at home. So we get all the slipping and different galloping done of a morning, and of an arvo, you try and have a rest. Next minute the arvo man comes in, which is Robbie, our old mate, and starts ripping the kennels apart, tipping the waters out, sweeping out, vacuum and all that crap, So it's real good to have the proper quality, and on a serious note, without them I wouldn't be sitting here today. It's simple as that.
And obviously, speaking of nights like this, you have been in this position before and you've tasted success with greyhounds to win the Greyhound of the Year. Obviously, from a personal nature, it must be a very big thrill.
Yeah, Ron, you sort of don't have yourself on. That's the main thing in greyhound racing, any type of elite athlete sport. You just keep waking up, and I think the main thing is you have 100%, 110% go, you know you'll achieve these goals. But I think everyone's dream as an owner, as a trainer, probably as a punter, whatever you are, you sit here one day and hoping one day that you could ever own a greyhound or train a greyhound that makes the Greyhound of the Year, let alone win it, would be great. But we had a bit of luck in 2002 when Big Sam Banner beat Modern Assassin, and that was real good, and it weren't too many years later, Texas Gold, he won the Greyhound of the Year in 2005. He beat another freak in Power to Burn, so a few years down the track we're sitting here again and vying for the top spot. But on a serious note, Ron, if he wins tonight for Marty and Fiona and his young bloke Cameron and their other young bloke who's at home, it's all about them, mate, basically. It's all about the dog and the owners tell the truth. I just try and guide them in the right direction and keep getting a result week in, week out. But basically, if we had a bit of luck tonight, that'll be great. But if he don't win it, that'll be good as also.
Jason Mackay, all the very best with Zipping Lad. Congratulations, mate.
Thanks a lot, Ron.
Russell, let's go back to you, mate.
Very hard act to follow, Rod. The old man threw the leg over. I could have spent 4 hours trying to think of that one, Jason. You just reeled it off in about 8 seconds. Followed up by, if it's not right, you won't get a packet of chips. Yep. David Clarkson is on the board of Greyhound Racing New South Wales. I'd like to invite David up to present the next award, which is, of course, the Young Person of the Year in Greyhound Racing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the industry, the sport of greyhound racing in New South Wales is in very capable hands with some marvellous participants and racing administrators. However, to look to the long-term future of the industry, we are very much dependent on the next generation of greyhound racing enthusiasts. And therefore it came as a great honour when I was asked to present this evening the 2011 New South Wales Young Person of the Year Award. The 2011 nominees are Tim Keynes, and Timothy Butt. And the award goes to a young man, 20 years of age, trainer, owner, breeder, owner of the winner of the Christmas gift, a man with who's been a tremendous role model to people in the industry, a great young person, 20-year-old from Wedderburn who's done a great deal for his age. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the award goes to Tim Keynes.
At only 20 years of age, Tim Keynes is an owner, trainer and breeder of greyhounds, including the Christmas gift winner and Wentworth Park track record holder, Noble Pedro.
Good evening, guests. Thanks for the award. I'd like to thank my family. Couldn't have done it without them. And Ken and Mary Wright and Karina Britton. Thanks for that.
The next award tonight recognises the most outstanding run on any New South Wales track throughout 2011. It's unique because the public get the chance to vote for this, and it's selected by a panel of experts, but the winner was somebody who actually won 2 tickets to tonight, a night's accommodation at the Hilton and a chance to present the award. That is the winner of the viewer's choice. Would you please welcome Kasara Vincent? And she voted for her run of the year. And just how far have you come from, Kasara?
From Newcastle, Lemon Tree Passage.
Lemon Tree Passage. So you're staying at the Hilton?
Yes, I am.
Decent joint, the Hilton, compared to the Newcastle Hilton.
Yes.
What is the Newcastle Hilton?
Oh, typical.
the Star Hotel, which is
Yes.
probably burnt down by now. I think it did. I'll let you say the nominees. You pick. You tell everyone what you picked and the winner at the same time.
Okay. The nominees for the run of the year are Lonesome, Cold Fusion, Radley Bale, He Knows You Know, and Shimaguni. And the winner for the 2011 Run of the Year is He Knows You Know.
Racing High Earner, Dwelton first away in the centre was Tuiaki. Hillcrest Gwen got away well. Bogey Kings between runners as High Earner went to the lead. They were followed by Push the Paint. He Knows You Know back second last but making good ground. And the tail end of Bravado Dos. Bogey King is last. Down the back they go. High Earner is the leader. In second place, Push the Paint, Proven Chevy. He Knows You Know on the inside. Next was Tuiaki and Bravado Dos. The leader is High Earner. Charging home as He Knows You Know. High Earner in front. Look at He Knows Go. They hit the line. Nothing in it. Nothing in it. He Knows You Know or High Earner in a great drive. Third in the race was Tuiaki. Push the Paint. They were followed the inside by Proven Chevy, Bravado Dos, and the other one, Hillcrest Gwen and Bogey King. Can he finish? He's got it.
Yeah. And accepting the award on behalf of Michael Patterson is his daughter, Elizabeth Patterson. His sister. Oh, sister. It says his daughter. There you go.
Good evening, everybody. I am just so ecstatic that the dog has got this honour, but I also would like to congratulate the other dogs that were in the running for it, because they pushed him to his most potential and gave him the incentive to keep going. And thank you very much, everybody. It's just fantastic and it's a great night.